welcome to another Mac Trains short episode today. This is really just a layout update video. That's all that's in it. There's plenty else going on in the background. There's a few bits and bobs here, and there's something else. Where are we? Get that? There we are. Get that into camera very briefly. There's stuff happening. There's one of these as well. There's things are on the move. There's too many ideas in my head for the time I don't have. But anyway. Layout update, that's what we got. A bit more on Tanfield Terrace, a bit more progress, a little bit of a different angle on what you can see. I've literally just turned the thing around so you can get a different view of things, but hopefully you find it interesting. Always appreciate folk taking the time to watch, and please do drop a comment down below and share and all the rest of it. Thanks very much for watching. I just thought you might like a little look at the underside as well, or the innards of the access point. So there's reasonable access there to this lower level all the way around, because there will be derailments, there will be track cleaning required. So you can see I've given fairly generous allowance for that, and then on the reverse loop you can see the same again. I have, I think, reasonable. I'm seeing a bit of tape there, that can come away. Forgot that was on. This is what happens when you start looking at it through someone else's eyes. So there we go. Right then, I've turned the layout around for one thing, so we're not so used to seeing it from this angle, which I thought might be of some interest. That really is the only vaguely finished part of the layout. Still not entirely finished, but you know, partly. So the idea is you can sweep into town from here. There'll be a welcome to Tanfield sign about here. You'll come in and you'll approach the station. There'll be parking, station building, and then the town beyond. That's the theory. Working a little bit just scenery formers down here. Bit of a rock face to go on to take the road down. And that obviously needs to be finished off as well. That'll be kind of edged and hedged probably, bit of both. Bit of timber there needs to be finished off. Once that's done, it's all waiting one thing for the next rock face on the far sides. But the idea, by turning it round, I can get going on this side of things better. Now down here, this is one of those, oh, where am I? There we are. This is one of those sort of in mid-build developments. This wasn't not intended to be a Peekaboo, but I'm toying with the idea of making it one for the lower level access line. So yeah, so that's it. I'm kind of thinking of this little Peekaboo. Will that work? I quite like the idea, perhaps, of a kind of fencing here, brickwork on the inside. I need to tidy up the track work and the wiring down there, because I say that was intended to be hidden. But I think a little bit of action, some see a little bit of surprise action is quite nice on a layout. So let me know what you think about that. On this side, where we are here, this point motor is going to be covered over with a little building. Can't remember, was it a small signal box or was it simply a shed? There'll be a kind of a walled area here. The scenery will come down to meet it, and then we'll get up onto the station. The station won't, this platform won't be this regular width all the way. It'll be more organic, and there'll be kind of some scenery to join that. Down here, this end will be the station building. That's a theory. Up on top here, there'll be some sort of low relief buildings, and then we get at the this sort of tenement block in the meantime, and I'm not happy with my roof at all. It hasn't worked out quite right. Obviously my measurements slightly wrong, and also couldn't fit it onto my resin printer, so I go at doing it on the FDM just piece by piece and then putting it together, which, you know, it's worked in one sense, but my measurements are off, so we're going to have to redo it anyway. So you can see there, that's not right, something's gone wrong there. The rest actually does fit better than I've made it fit there. That's not too bad. The rest is reasonable. I could live with the rest. But you look at that, And then you look at, so admittedly with a fail, but nonetheless the resin print. And there's no comparison. My FDM is quite a basic one, very basic one. It's a bit wrecked these days. So I want to get back to be able to do this, but my original, which got a huge amount of work to design the roof, the model wasn't obviously modeled properly for CAD, and there were kind of errors in the model, and therefore it doesn't print properly. So that's a to-do and a question. Is it worth redoing it all, or is it worth just adjusting this to fit? What do you think? So there you go. Apart from that, like I say, there'll be a kind of back road in here, station building, houses, shops. We have another kind of tall building opposite here to give it a fairly narrow access point down. Won't be quite as big as this, but a smaller version of it is a long-term plan that's not been designed yet at all. And then the main road out of Tanfield once more. So there we go. Hopefully you found that reasonably interesting. As I say, this is a top-up video. So there we go. Anything else? Suggestions, ideas, hints, tips, always welcome. And thanks very much for watching, and do remember to share apparently as well. I've not been saying share, but apparently share is good for algorithms. And if you have any rhythms, you want them to be algo. So sharing apparently is good for that. So thanks very much, and hopefully we'll be in touch soon.